Hi. Hello, everyone. Today we will be talking with Siqi that has her son who's 14 months old. I'm waiting for her to join, see who else is here. Hello, hello. Hi, Barbara. If you have questions, hi. Hey, Dr. Jordan. Hi. How are you?
Very good. Well, let me try on some of these filters. It's like cool. Look at that.
Wow, you're all sparkly. Look at that.
Oh wow, I love this one. Let's try this one.
Yeah, it's nice. It looks nice on you.
Wait,
I can hear your son. How is he?
let me show you.
You said he's 14 months, right?
Maxwell,
Hello.
you're on live.
Hi, buddy. Hi.
Mama.
Wow. Yeah, remember Riley at that age? She was doing the same thing, crawling in her little like playpen and pulling herself up, and it's awesome.
Maxwell. Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, she's not here today, Riley. She's with her dad, but next time we should have a play date when all this COVID crazy thing is over, right?
I think so. I would
Yeah.
love that. Wow, I have some of my friends joined. Hi guys. Let me see who is here.
Hello,
I
hello.
Karina, and then Barbara. That's your friend. I think Anders.
Yeah, Barbara. Yeah.
So
Barbara
for
is going to join us live next week.
So for those of you who are my friends who are live here, I want to let you know, guys, what we're talking about. So first of all, this is not a skincare live, okay? I know I do a lot of skincare live on our Hello Ava's channel. This is about my personal birthing experience, which I have to thank Mava for teaching me incredible skills on how to do hypnobirthing, which allowed me to give birth to Maxwell without epidural, not intentionally.
Right, because that's what's amazing about your birth story, though. You know. But so, how did you find out about hypnobirthing to begin with? What was your path to that? Did you have a friend who used it, or?
Well, I saw my friend Emily just joined. She just got married, so maybe she's thinking about having a kid soon too. So for those of you who just joined, who are thinking about having a kid, or is already pregnant, then congratulations. Hypnobirthing is definitely one of the best ways. I found out about hypnobirthing through just reading about it. I think I was reading this article about Gwyneth Paltrow and some other celebrity like Jessica Alba just using hypnobirthing, and Angelina Jolie, I think, using hypnobirthing and ended up doing it without pain medication, like without epidural. And I was thinking, well, how could that happen? Like, how are you able to give
Because I
birth?
remember in the class, you always had a lot of questions, which I always encourage people to ask questions because more information is better. And you still had this question about, but how is it possible? And yet, when I spoke to you right after, you said that you were able to do it without an epidural. And you guys didn't have a doula, right?
I had one. I had a doula.
You had one? Okay.
Yeah. But that was more kind of like, I was just curious if it makes sense to have a doula. I love this like sparkling thing. It's making me very shiny.
And you have, of course, amazing skin, so it looks perfect.
Thank you. So yeah. So that was what kind of got me curious about hypnobirthing. And I remember just searching for hypnobirthing in New York City, and I didn't really, didn't really know much about it. So I was just out of curiosity. I was like, let me try this out. Like, why not? even if I'm not able to use it, even if I still need epidural, that's fine. I learned like a little bit of skill set, so why not?
And so from what you read, what made you kind of curious about it? Was it that you were going to learn like tools, or that what was the trigger for you there that sparked you to want to learn more about it?
I think it's just more out of curiosity. I was like, if all these celebrities are using it, then like there must be something good about it, then why don't I try it? So it's not necessarily like I was like had a goal to achieve, but it's something that I was more curious about. My mom also, I mean, in that generation in China,
Right.
they didn't have epidural, so they gave birth without epidural. So my mom, remember, both my mother-in-law and my mom had me and my husband without epidural. So if they could do it, obviously without hypnobirthing as a kid, then I was like curious to see if I can do it too. But the goal wasn't trying to do it without epidural. I think like that was not like, I never thought that I was able to do that, but that was never the objective.
And then from the class, so I remember you came in with your husband. Like, what do you feel that was like the most helpful to you from all those tools?
I thought it was a lot of the hands-on exercise that you gave was very interesting. So like, I remember you did one that you were like using a scarf to hold the belly and then trying to do this like relaxation thing. And then there's another one that you did that was like visualization. So you were like walking down the stairs and then you open a window. You saw this beautiful place where you had like, you feel like a safe place. That is something I still kind of use almost every day, like every other day or something, to kind of close my eyes and visualize that. It's really good for reducing stress as well. So I thought that was really
It's a quick thing, right? Once you get the hang of it. I use that with all my hypnotherapy clients.
yeah. And I know like the notation of using hypnosis feels like a little bit like, I know it's a little bit of taboo to say like, oh, you practice hypnosis. It feels a little bit like you're like a little superstitious, or it's you like trying to, like people always like consider hypnosis with some kind of
Weird, right? Like, yeah.
drug use, which I don't use any drugs obviously, but it's just, it feels a little bit of mysterious thing, a little negative connotation to it, which I don't think at all. I don't feel this way.
I think for some people, it's only once they experience it that they realize that it's very similar to meditation. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing, right? It's like guided, obviously. And that the goal is really to get you to feel good things, right? To feel positive feelings. When you see yourself in that safe place, the idea is that you take a nice deep breath and then you just feel more comfortable, right? So it's
Exactly.
for life. I don't know if you remember, like in the class, I tend to remind people, I think it's a tools for life, because once the baby's here, right? Once you have those crazy days, it's very, very useful. And then did you find that like the breathing was helpful for you too during contractions?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's actually what kind of got me to being 10 centimeters dilated without epidural like so fast. Because when I got to the hospital, right, the first thing they did was like they checked like how dilated, or if you're not that dilated, they're gonna send you home. And obviously, like saw how much pain I'm having, they can already tell I'm probably pretty dilated. But when they told me like, oh, you're fully dilated, you're 10 centimeters dilated, when I was like already kind of like, you know, seeing stars and stuff, that still shocked me big time, because that was like, whoa, like I cannot believe it. I went straight from not dilated at all to 10 centimeters dilated. How did that happen, right? So I was definitely like surprised by that. And I think the reason that happened so quickly was because I was using those breathing exercise that you taught me, which is, you know, kind of counting a little bit and make sure that you're breathing slowly, and also make sure that I'm using some of the affirmation words to like the surge breathing. Yeah. It's so
how did your labor start? Was it at night? What was the story there?
Yeah, it started at nighttime after, actually I went out for dinner. This is before COVID. So I went out for dinner with like 5 friends that night. because that was the weekend before my due days. I even went out for dinner. I was like in a very happy mood. And then on the way home, I started feeling a little bit of contraction. And when I got home, I started feeling more consistent contractions almost every, I think it's every 40 minutes. At that point, my husband started using the contraction timer to time me. So then that was like around every 40 minutes. So we didn't really sleep well that night. And then until the end of every, you know, it was already the morning. So then once a week we're around like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., then my contraction accelerated. It got to like it was close to every 10 minutes.
And is that when your doula came over, or were you still okay, like just the two of you?
Yeah, it's like luckily she lives right next to me, like actually in my neighborhood. So my doula came over at around 7 a.m. My labor, like the consistent contractions started around 5 a.m. Around sometime, I think the early time it was around, like it started the night before around 40 minutes, and then later on got to like around 20 minutes. When my doula came, it was around 10 minutes per contraction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And you were still doing fine. How was your husband supporting you during that time? Was he calm, and was he?
Yeah, he was pretty calm. I mean, in addition to the hypnobirthing class that we took, we also took some other like classes that's more, the more like the registered nurse gave the class, so that we know like what is the procedure before you get into the hospital, right? Like before birth. So that also is like helpful. So my husband knows exactly kind of like at which point you're gonna be like, like at what stage of labor. So he did a couple, which helped a lot. And for those of you who are watching, like, you should definitely make your partner do this. He gave me like a nice massage on my lower back, with the instruction of the doula. So then they take time to give me like massages on my lower back, which has helped with, kind of the relaxation, and also kind of conquer the fear, and also feels like you're more supported. I think that also helps like accelerate the labor a little bit. And at one point, I think I even took a bath in my tub, because that was one thing that you mentioned, is like taking a nice bath during your labor, like during the day you're in like labor, it helps relax you. So during the bath, I even FaceTime one of my really close friends. I was like, hey, like it's happening. I can feel the contractions every, like at that point it was like every 10 minutes. And she's like, I can't believe that you're FaceTiming me right now. Like,
right. You stayed really calm.
Yeah, how are you so calm? Like it's like happening for you. And I basically just told her like it's, like this actually helps me because it distracts me a little bit.
Yeah. I know what you mean. That's amazing. That is so great. And then you decided to go to the hospital. Like, did your water break, or was your doula just saying like, I think it's time?
So my doula, luckily, she has, she knows my doctor already. It was recommended by my doctor. So so I called my doctor, told her about the situation, and it just happened to be that day she's the one who's on call. Because, like with these doctors that you have like, different like,
rotation. You don't know who you will have.
They want to make sure that there's always someone who's ready for you. You might not get the doctor that you've been going to. It just happened to be that day she's also the one that's on call, so it's very lucky. So then they had a conversation like on the phone, and then she basically told her like what's going on. And at that point I was like, oh, it sounds like she probably can labor a little longer at home. She's probably not dilated that much yet, and then she can probably maybe laboring a little more at home will help dilating more. So then we stay at home, and then they doing these, like they kind of, my doula and then my husband rotate to like do the massage on my back. And then, so that like took a few turns, right? And I even at some point, I think I sat on the toilet, like, which helps with the gravity, kind of trying to get the baby out. So like all of that happening, like, it's like you saw the acceleration of the contraction also went from like 10 minutes to like, I think by the time I was sitting on the toilet, I was around probably 5 to 6 minutes every contraction. see my baby is like going insane all of a sudden. And then
so you were still doing okay though, because I remember the plan was to get an epidural, right? But like, where were you in your mind? Were you thinking, I think I want to go because I think it's time for the epidural? Or?
And when my doula called the doctor, well, I called the doctor, and then my my doula was like telling her how I feel, because at that point I was like not really. I was already quite like every single time you get a contraction, you're in a little bit of pain, in like decent amount of pain. So I was not really that like thinking straight and sharp anymore. So
and the hormones also are kicking in, right? So in between, you also feel a bit like.
My doula was the one who like communicated to the doctor to tell her what's the situation with me, like how I'm feeling, is describing my pain level to her, and then so she was like, I think in her situation she can probably still stay a little bit unless she's not able to handling the pain and want the epidural now, then you guys should go to hospital. But then I was like, I was kind of taking it easy. I was like, oh no, I think I can handle the pain for a little bit. And so they're like, great, then like let's stay here for a little longer. So that and then so like my doula basically like massaged me a little more, and my husband did the same. And so by the time that I was at around 3 to 4 minutes contraction like apart. That's what felt like more painful. And I was like, okay, I think it's time, we should go. And then my doula agrees with me. And then she also called the doctor, and she's like, yeah, let's go. I will start heading to the hospital as well. She actually went back to Brooklyn because there's no birth that day happening. So she actually already went back, and then she's also getting ready to go to the hospital. And then when I got to the hospital, it was already so, like, it just like, oh, so my, and there's like a funny stories here. So I was, I had the hospital bag packed, and then I was ready to leave. But then before I was dressed, I was like thinking like, oh, I had like this entire bag of adult diaper, which I, obviously will come very handy after birth. So I'll just wear one right now. So if like things like if I'm bleeding or whatever, it doesn't get my underwear, stained. So I wore one of those adult diapers.
So you were like really practical about things. That's amazing. Even though your contractions were like,
yeah. Good. Like I think it was also happened to be just next to me, so I grabbed one of those adult diapers, and then like my husband was like holding me, and then like my mom was here too, so she was holding the suitcase, and then the doula is holding something else. But I was already at this point, I was already in a lot of pain. I was like, oh my gosh, like can we go as soon as possible? I need all the epidurals in the world, blah blah blah. So then we left, and then in the Uber, which is like so close, like the hospital was literally like can be walkable.
Yeah,
it was
I remember you said that.
And then in the Uber my water broke because I could feel the water like and happened to be I have the adult diaper, so then it didn't contaminate.
That's amazing.
So the adult diaper actually happened to be very when that happened. So then like, so my water broke in the Uber, and then we got to the hospital, and then they like, I was in so much pain at this point, and then my husband was like, okay, let me rush up to get a wheelchair for you. So he got a wheelchair, and then the wheelchair came, and I was like so anxious. I was like, guys, please move fast, because I was in so much pain. Like I need epidural now, otherwise literally like I think I'm gonna die. Or I'm gonna faint, and it just accelerated so fast after you. So then,
but from the sound of it, you were in transition when you got in the car, which is also like the most intense moment. Then the water breaks, and then you could have started pushing in the car potentially.
Yes. That's actually, I actually think that kind of happened like unintentionally. Yeah. So that when I was sitting on the wheelchair, I could feel the force kind of coming very strongly. So that feeling is very similar to when you're about to poop, and it was so strong that I felt like it's literally coming out of me. And I remember like I was sitting on the wheelchair, right? And I was like holding myself like this, and I was like trying to push myself up.
Yeah.
I can make space for the baby to come out in case like he needs to come out, because it was so strong, like that feeling when
That's what, we talk about, like the spontaneous pushing.
Yeah, because it's exactly the same as when you're about to have a poop.
Mm-hmm.
So much stronger than that. It literally comes to you, and you felt like there's no way this poop can come out because it's so big. That's how I felt. And it was so cool too, right? And so I was trying to make space. I was trying to like push myself up and trying to make space for it. And then and I was asking, I was like screaming at my husband. I was like, please go faster, he's coming out. I was like crying too. And then so we got to the hospital. We went straight to the labor room, and then my husband trying to like finish the registration. And then my doctor wasn't there yet, but there's a backup doctor already there. Mm-hmm. So then she was like, don't push yet. And I was like, what the hell do you mean by don't push yet?
I don't understand why they do that. But
yeah, and he's like, she was like, do you want to wait for your doctor to get here? I'm like, no. Like,
yeah. I want to have this baby already. Yeah.
Me, they were like, wow, you're like fully dilated, which I'm surprised to hear, because even though I felt the push, it's my first, I didn't understand what that meant. I also I thought that maybe everyone will feel this way, like when it's coming, but I still felt like really strong. So I think at that point I was already in active labor because the force was so strong.
No, you were past active labor, because you went, so active labor is when the contractions, let's say, get like 5 minutes apart. Then you get to transition, which is when they get much closer. And then after being fully open, 10 centimeters, you're pushing. So you were pushing. So
yeah. And then even the doctor was like, I know it's so crazy to ask you not to push, because usually but do you want to wait for your doctor? I was like, no, please, let's just do this and get done with this. I don't really care. I mean, I love my doctor, but like, I don't really care who delivers.
Yeah, at this point, you're like, you've done all the work on your own anyway. So it's not like you need the doctor there if your body is pushing your baby out, right?
Exactly. So that they were like, okay, let's do this. And that at that point, they also told me I'm 10 centimeters dilated. Because before, when I was at an Uber, even though I felt the force, especially when I was in a wheelchair, going from the Uber to the 6th floor of the hospital, I felt a push. I didn't know I was 10 centimeters dilated. Right. I didn't know kind of the push already happening. Mm-hmm. So they confirmed that, and I was like, wow. So that at that point, I was like, I think I was a little confused, because I was in so much really thinking straight. Then I was like, wait, can you guys give me epidural? I'm in so much pain. And they were like, no, like you don't have time. Like it's past that. And I was like, what? So I was like kind of mad at them. I was like screaming. I was like, what? Like it's past that? Like, what do you mean by I can't have epidural? So I was like going insane about this. And then at that point they were like, okay, like you can just push, like if you don't want to wait for a doctor, let's do this. And then one of the nurse was like, oh my God, the baby's already crowning. And I was like, what does that mean? And they were like,
it's almost out. Yeah. That's amazing. I did not know that part. That's amazing.
And they checked, they were like, the baby's crowning. So then I was like, so we don't have time for epidural. I was still kind of holding on.
You were still fixated. I know, I had a client like that. Yeah, I know exactly.
On the hope that I can have epidural.
Because it's like your conscious mind doesn't want to let go. And it's just like, but your body has done it already. It's like your mind is trying to catch up with what just happened. Yeah. And then it's when you have the baby on you that you're like, what just happened?
Yeah. Also, you were in so much pain. Like, you didn't really know, like, which sequence is happening, what, even though I read a book about it, still, when it's actually happening, it just feels like a blur. Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm. You're not really thinking straight about like rational things, right? Because it's so painful.
Yeah, of course.
And they were like, they decided, okay, we're not gonna wait for the doctor. Let's do this. So they're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, let's push. And but I felt like I was pushing the entire time anyway. So I think the first push, like it was almost there, and I did a second push, and then the baby was on me.
It's incredible.
It's a crazy. And so like the second push, it was on me. And then Daryl basically said that, wow, well done. Like the registration of the hospital hasn't hasn't even finished yet. I haven't even filled out
Right, that you've already given birth.
was still kind of filling out the paper form. But then like when it was happening, he's like, oh my God, I gotta like finish, like, stop this and then go to my wife because she's starting to push. And then there's another dramatic part, which is when a baby is coming out, he apparently had 2 cords around his neck. So that could actually stop him from breathing, but it was not tight so that it didn't need it. Like we didn't have to go through like a C-section or anything. But had it been a little tighter, then there could be a little bit of, you know.
Right. So it's good you bring this up because it's a concern for a lot of people, and usually you don't know until the baby's born. Like if it's not going to be a problem, you're not going to know until the baby is born. If it's going to be a problem, you're going to know during labor because the baby will get in distress potentially, right? And that's why you would have a cesarean. Or sometimes, as the baby's head is born, they usually always check around the neck. And if they feel like it's tight, they would cut the cord there.
Yeah.
Right? So, and this way they can delay the cord.
Out without getting distressed. And then my husband was able to cut the cord himself. So that he's very about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And also afterwards, right? Like obviously there's still a lot of bleeding. So then my OBGYN had to clear my uterus, right? So that's the process. Like, you know, like they want to make sure there's no fragmented piece in it, which causes bleeding. That's very, you know, dangerous. But most people, when this is happening, like after it's already born, they had epidural, so they don't feel much when they're clearing it. For me, I didn't have epidural, so when they were clearing my uterus, it was very painful. It was actually almost like at some point, like almost more painful than the birth.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then it was like, but it was quick. It was not like pretty. I mean, everything kind of happened pretty quick. Even my push was only 2 pushes, right?
Yeah.
And so I teared a little bit. It was very small. It was, I think, first they call it
first degree,
first or second degree. Yeah, it's pretty small. So I didn't feel anything at all. Yeah.
What a story. I mean.
Yeah, I mean.
It's amazing. And in a way, like, you know, knowing you, meeting you from the classes, and like, it almost makes sense that like you had like such a birth story where you like surprised yourself.
I was surprised because as I told you in the class too, I have very low threshold. I'm not very good at holding pain, and I'm always like, I'm scared of needles. I'm scared of even the thought of having someone like put like a needle into my spine. It's like scary.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
They're like trying to put like this little IV thing in me. Like that's like also scares me too. But when it's happening, I felt like it just happened that way, and then your body can do amazing and miraculous things that you don't expect. And honestly, I'm thinking about having another kid like next year or so. I don't know if, I mean, this is not set a plan yet, but I'm about it, and I want to start planning.
And also knowing like your strength now, right? Because you went through a life-changing event that was crazy, and you did it. So there's like, you know, a new relationship to yourself almost, you know, like the person you thought you were and the woman you are now, and becoming a mother. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would never had expected that I was able to do that. So I'm thinking about having a second kid. And I was thinking like, I mean, obviously this time I would go to a hospital super early. Because now, no, especially second
babies tend to be faster. Yep.
And if my first baby is already fast like that, then my second baby probably even faster. So I just want to make sure that this time I go to hospital much earlier. And then I also want to make sure that I will probably try to use hypnobirthing again.
Yeah, we'll do a review when you're ready.
Yeah, and we'll do this again and see if I can give birth to another kid without epidural. That would be another miracle. Which
I would be surprised if you didn't.
Oh my God!
We'll see.
Yeah, but whole birthing experience and how it just happened so fast, and you know everything felt like a blur, and he was born, and yeah, I was so proud of myself, and so is everyone else. They were just like, my husband was just like, whoa, can't believe that just happened. You did it without epidural. Whoa, like you had very little that threshold? How did that just happen?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a crazy story for sure. How was what about the other people in the class? Like, I don't think I remember seeing anyone else sharing their
It was a big class, but you know, I don't know if I got the birth stories from everyone. Like I email everyone, and then I can find out and let you know.
were able to like give birth without epidural. It's not like necessarily like failure or like winning.
Right.
You know, it's not competition, but I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find out and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a big class.
As I wasn't really expecting I would actually do it without epidural.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then for what was your postpartum experience like? Like, was breastfeeding okay for you? Did you struggle with that, or like, and your recovery?
So in East Asian culture, we have this thing, which I don't know if it's in French culture or like other European cultures, but in East Asian culture, we usually have this confinement nurse. So I had a woman, she's incredible, from Taiwan, and she came, and this is before pandemic, so she was able to travel. And then she came and pandemic happened, and she probably regretted so much she came. But she's incredible, and I love her so much. I'm probably gonna have her come for my second baby as well. And then so because I didn't use epidural, and because I had a vaginal birth, like I think recovery for me was pretty smooth and pretty fast. And also my confinement nurse from Taiwan is incredible, and she cooked me very nutritious food.
Right.
Made sure that she did the binding thing too, which helped. So yeah, I will recommend that. And I would recommend it.
And then, so the idea is that you kind of like take it easy for like, is it like 40 days or like, is that how?
I didn't do anything for like a month and a half at all. I mean, I responded to some like messages or Slack or on email, but just on my phone. I didn't even open a computer for like entire month and a half because I was technically not allowed to during this confinement period. And you cannot even wash your hair or shower in the traditional sense. Well, obviously I didn't follow that, but whenever I wash my hair or shower, I always use ginger water. So like she will boil me like literally like use the biggest pot, and she'll boil me like 3 of those, and then she'll be like, okay, you can mix this with some cold water and then wash yourself. So a shower, I didn't do that because that's way too much work because you shower. But whenever I wash my hair, I always did that. Which
so
I think
it's like there's a mix of and obviously I think this is lost in our culture, right? But like a mix of like spirituality, rebuilding the self kind of, but also like rebuilding like the fluids in the body, right? Acupuncture would talk about like rebuilding fluids and eating warming food and you know not using specific things, and it's amazing. I think it's amazing.
yeah, no, I have recommended, and it's not just. I don't think this should be exclusive to East Asian culture, like the people who do like 坐月子 in Chinese. I think there's some other words in Korean and in Japanese as well. I think there's some other culture like Turkish culture practice something similar. I think Americans should adopt this like confinement period too, because I really truly think that it helps mom recover faster. And it's also a way to help you, you know, just for self-care, right? It's like a way to love yourself, and you've gone through a pretty traumatizing experience giving birth to a kid, right? So why you deserve to be treated and pampered, at least for
and
like,
and everything is new and your body's different, and you're going through the hormone fluctuations. And I did take it easy after the baby, but not like that. And I think the next time I will take it even more easy, because I remember I made a point of not carrying my baby, right? I didn't, everybody like deal with that.
you can't carry your baby at all for the first month and a half.
I had to pump because I couldn't get her on the breast for like a month. So I had to pump and get up for that and all of that. But I remember one day, like we went for a walk, and I was just not, it was not fun. And I was like, why did it was a nice day. It was September. I was like, let's go for a walk. And, you know, because I felt okay. But after half an hour, I was like, this was a terrible idea. I need to lie down. So next time I will definitely just kind of relax, because Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I didn't I breastfed. I mean, I set a goal. I mean, this is stupid of me to set a goal. I shouldn't be setting goals for anything related to this in the future. But like, you know, I'm a competitive person, so I always set goals for myself. So I set a goal for myself to breastfeed like for 6 months, and anything after that would be like incredible. I should clap for myself. Anything below that, maybe I should have done more. You know, it's stupid. But I end up breastfeeding him for, my mom already breastfed me for 3 months. So I know maybe it's genetic in my family that we just don't have a lot of milk. But I was able to use a lot of supplements. Also, my confined nurse cooked me a lot of soup. That's like the secret Taiwanese cuisine or Chinese cuisine. That was very nutritious and helps with milk production. So I was able to breastfeed him for 8 months. Yeah. And then towards the end of it, like work got busier, and I wasn't very diligent about pumping, and it just got lower and lower. So, but I was happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot already.
And
And you're so busy. I mean, just like trying to like organize this and plan this, it's like you're so busy. I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know how you do it. I am in awe of all of you, you know, super duper busy moms. I mean, you're the CEO of a company. Like, wow.
yeah, a good thing about being a company like leader also is that you have a good team. Like I really trust my team is incredible. So you have a good team to support you when you're away, and if you truly delegate the work and then truly get the support, I think it's actually like relatively easier to juggle through. I mean, obviously, if I have like a job and if I'm like working for someone, not running my own company, then I have like 4 months off, or even sometimes 6 months off. Then I don't have to worry about anything, right? For my if I run my own company, I have to like at least I still check my phone, like even the first month. But even that was relatively minimum. I talked about this a lot in like other mom entrepreneurship panel, how you balance these things. And I realized I was already so lucky. Like most of my other mom entrepreneur friends, they didn't take any time off almost at all, because they, unless they're from East Asian culture, then you're forced to do this, like US period, which is the confinement. But like non-Asian friends, because there's not really a traditional culture that's embedded in this confinement period, like, and everyone is such a go-getter who are entrepreneurs, so they just kind of went back to work. When I compare myself to them, I was like, oh my God, I got so lucky. And I felt like,
yeah, you had your foundation already there, right? Because you were already thinking about all this. It was already like,
yeah. So I happen to have like 2 incredible co-founders too. So that they help, like they took care of the business when I'm on my maternity leave, technically.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's the plan. Like if you know, if we go for baby number 2, I'm definitely going to set things up so that you know, I take it easy, because I started work back early after Riley, and again I can organize my workload, so it wasn't, you know, too crazy, but yeah, having the foundation so that you can rest and you don't have to worry and you don't have that added stress is just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that for sure, for sure.
Exactly.
So let's see, I don't know if any of your friends have any questions. I mean, you shared a lot, so like, thank you. If you guys want to post any comments.
I think I only have one friend here that is actually from my side, but I think most of your friends. For those of you who are watching, I'm Siqi. I'm the founder and CEO of Hello Ava, which is a skincare technology company, and that helps personalize your skincare routine. So for those of you who are going through pregnancy,
and I want to talk about that, because you can't see because I put makeup on today, but since having Riley, and before I had sensitive skin, and now I have rosacea. And I know that your products are really helpful because it's personalized, right? You get like a special appointment.
Well, no, we don't make product. We like work with a third party. So we work with a lot of big brands that you know, like L'Oreal's, Unilever's of the world. We also work with smaller, more up and coming popular brands that's very Gen Z, like, or millennial popular. And then we personalize a routine for you based on your needs. And so a lot of our actually went through, whenever they go through pregnancy, postpartum journey, their skin changes, so they realize they have to change a lot of the skincare products. So we actually have,
I became like a dried parchment paper. It was so bizarre.
yeah,
So bizarre.
had like a very similar experience, because they and I did the same too. Like I had to and my entire skincare routine. I threw away everything I was using. You cannot use salicylic acid, you cannot use retinol and some of these very effective ingredients. So I'm like, okay, now what do I use? So like, obviously the estheticians, the expert in my company helped me. And then so I changed my entire routine. Which I mean, like helped a lot. We help a lot of pregnant people for sure. But I know this talk is about hypnobirthing and delivery. So if any of you have questions, feel free to put it in the comment so we can answer.
I know some people are took the classes already. Steph is here. So, you know, we'll have you on so you can share your birth experience too. And then, you know, I'll keep the live up so people can watch. And then I'm also uploading to my YouTube channel so people can also watch and then find us. But did you want to share the name of your company? Is Hello Eva, right? And people can find that on Instagram. That's the handle.
We have the Instagram handle is Hello Eva Beauty. We have around 305,000 followers, I think, as of today.
Amazing.
Thank you. And if you can always link it in the caption so that people.
When did you start your company?
2017. So it's been almost 4 years now.
Amazing. So yeah, we'll chat more about that, and then I'm looking to you to like help me heal that, so that.
Yeah, but your skin looks amazing. So I don't
Thank you. That's the light and the makeup, because usually it's not.
Helps with, I mean, even people who have great skin, you can it helps with just maintaining it and make sure that you have. Because like the reason why I started a company is because I have so many products out there. How do I know, right? Like which one helps me, right? Like I want to have a routine that's designed and personalized for me. Everyone's skin is different. So what our company helps is that you go through a questionnaire, you have assessment first, and we match you to an advisor who is a licensed esthetician, and she will make sure that she checks your skin, have a one-on-one consultation like this with you, and then check everything, make sure that, you know, she gets all the information, and then you will get a personalized routine, and then all the products will get shipped to you, and it'll also come with a card. Actually, I have one right here that's made for me, so I can show you guys. That basically it's like this, and it says it's like what's your daily and weekly regimen, so then you can just follow it. It's personalized to you. So
that's so cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to join this very soon.
Oh, and then you can repurchase products at 10% off. So it's if you repurchase something bought in the past, it will be better if you, because like everyone, like we all have to sell product at the same price, so it will be actually cheaper if you buy it than if you buy it through like Amazon or some other retailer. Yeah.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I'm so
yeah, let's have a play date.
Oh, for sure. I would love that. I would love that. I'm so honored that I'm able to share my birth experience. Obviously, everyone's birth experience is very different. You know, the fact that I was able to do without epidural doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, one is more or better or prefer or more successful. It's never like a competition. But I just want to like let you guys know like the journey I went through, because it is very crazy. And women's body, we're so strong. Like we can do amazing things without even realizing it. A lot of these happen subconsciously without me even like noticing it. You know, I'm very surprised by it. But it's just, I think, I hope that my story is, it gives us a reason to celebrate how incredibly strong women be, and we should be everyone, we should be so proud of that. Like we're able to grow a human inside of us. It's crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy. Thank you so much. Big hugs to your family. And then hopefully we'll see each other very soon.
I want to. I would love that. Let's do a play day maybe in your neighborhood, in ours. Yeah, we miss you guys so much.
Let's do that. Big hug. Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.